Are you tired, Hoodle?
You sure he's not just trying to hide from us?
So, yeah, we were, I'm trying to finish Tales of Arise before the New Year, so... let's see. So hopefully we can get pretty far. I think I'm pretty close to actually finishing the game.
Calaglia. Feels like it's been ages.
And wasn't Zephyr with us too?
Dad.
Hey, chin up. This is your hometown. Hey, chin up.
Oops, sorry. There you go. I should remove desktop audio. Okay, there you go. Device, webcam, mic. Okay, that's weird. I can't remove the... Okay, well, we'll try next time.
Just one thing after another, and it all falls on my head too.
Hey, Nath.
What? Can't you see I'm... Alphen?
Looks like you have your hands full.
As much as ever. As if I wasn't busy enough putting down the last remnants of Renan rule, I'm up to my ears in Danon disputes. And then, to top it all off, that thing had to come crashing down from out of the sky.
Pretty sure we've heard this somewhere before.
But enough about my problems. What can I help you with?
Yeah, we're looking for an old Renan starship. You wouldn't happen to know any around these parts, would you?
A starship? What do you need one of those for?
To get to Lenegus.
Lenegus? Are you out of your damn mind?
Believe it or not, it wouldn't be the craziest thing we've done recently.
Oh, I believe it. Well, either way, I'm afraid I haven't heard anything about a starship.
Then do you have any historical records by chance?
Sure, we've got stacks of old records.
Mind if we take a look at them?
Yeah, okay.
Thanks, Nath.
I read through all of the records, but I only found a single line that might point to what we're looking for. It mentions a rock that shot across the sky and landed past the mountains. The event was recorded just before the first Renan invasion.
And you think that might be the starship?
I don't know. There was nothing else in the records that came even close. It looked like it was someplace called Berg, but maybe I'm reading it wrong.
Berg?
That ring any bells for you?
Yeah, that's one of the biggest volcanoes in Calaglia. I was just there recently, investigating a report of a meteor someone saw.
Another meteor in the same area? Really?
I wonder if it could have been one of those lights that shot out of the wedge.
All the more reason to check it out. Can you tell us how to get there?
The old Zion mine is up that way. One of the veins we abandoned connects to the volcano. Go ahead and use that. But you should be careful.
Huh?
I don't know if it has anything to do with the meteor. There's a giant Zoogle running riot in there. Never seen anything like it.
A Zoogle, huh?
Well, I turned back as soon as I caught sight of the thing, so I can't tell you much more. Just be real careful if you head out that way. All right.
I guess...
Right.
I didn't like the sound of that monster Nath was talking about one bit.
Well, we have to press on. We're going through Zion Mine to Berg Volcano. Let's move.
Everyone around here looks so much happier than they used.
I'll say. It feels like an entirely different place. I suppose it's had time to adjust to its newfound freedom.
Zephyr would have been so happy to see this.
Yeah, he really would have. Especially if he knew Law was... Law? Something bothering you, Law?
Nah,
It still weighs on you, doesn't it?
I abandoned my home. Then when I finally come back, it's been liberated. What's important is that it's free. I get that, I do. I just... I should have been here.
Everything okay with Hootle, Rinwell? He seems kinda out of spirits.
It must be the heat getting to him. We don't get these kind of temperatures back in Cislodia.
Galaglians born and raised here struggle with it too, so it's no surprise.
Aha! So that's why his plumage is so white. He was born in a winter wonderland.
Actually, Dan and owls absorb the astral energy of whatever land they're raised in. Where they're born doesn't affect their appearance at all. But that's not why he's white. The real reason is that he's still just a baby.
You mean their plumage changes color depending on where they grow up? Weird.
And with all this traveling we've been doing, it wouldn't surprise me if his wings ended up looking like a colorful painting.
I think he suits his snowy complexion. It'll feel strange to see him change.
How awesome would it be if his head and wings were different colors? And his stomach and sides, like a map of our travels! Ow, lay off, will ya? So much for the heat making him docile!
You've only yourself to blame for that one. Hootle takes pride in his appearance, you know.
Fascinating. An appreciation of aesthetic beauty in an owlet so young.
Dohalim, I think you've drawn his attention.
I love how... So, in terms of, like, usage, of course, like, number one is Alphen, but number two is definitely Kisara. Like, her parry mechanic is incredible. Like, it's so much easier to... Like, if Alphen is more speed-oriented, Kisara is, like, parry. Like, she's the parry goddess. Like, it's incredible. Like, the amount of damage she does is ridiculous, and the amount of, like, how fast she can, like, get into overdrive is, like, holy shit. Because her overdrive condition is...
Down on the ground.
Her overdrive condition is
Small,
pretty
but a
quick.
victory nonetheless.
Like,
We
she
have
just
a
has to,
long
like,
way yet
parry
to go.
and defend all the time. I think dodging is a lot harder. Parrying is a lot easier for me here. I don't know why.
Go no further!
Take it, my turn. Down on the ground.
Everyone hanging in there?
Yes, Mom. Alright, where are we going?
You guys want to rest here?
Better rest up while we can.
Let's do Alphen.
That came out great. Everyone's gonna be real surprised. So, Halim, care if I hang out for a while?
Next time, what say we discuss relics?
Oh boy. This weirdo is hilarious.
Shall
I
we
love
get
it.
moving?
I mean, technically, you're all weirdos. They're all weirdos, but
It's quite hot here. The climate feels different from Menancia's.
It's gotten much cooler since leaving town, though.
Does that mean eyes were burning holes in us?
oh, so late. I need to start blocking these, like, good god, these junk mails are never ending.
Gotta break through! Here I come!
A comfortable win. Something feels odd here. Be on your guard.
Where's the giant Toogle? Let's see. Where'd the giant Toogle land?
So we're back in the Zion mine tunnels. Who would have thought we'd be going through this place again? This is where you and I first fought together.
And also the first time we touched, as I recall.
Wait, really?
Yes, really.
I think there was like a weird... Yeah, there's like weird shit here. Ooh.
Little help!
Let's keep our eyes on the prize.
See if there's like a large Zoogle here. Let's go.
Let's dispose of the trash.
My turn! My turn!
Small, but a victory nonetheless.
We have a long way yet to go.
Okay. Actually, let's This one was blocked.
So this path is supposed to take us out to Bird Volcano?
We're not gonna see any lava burst out in front of us or anything, are we?
Don't get so paranoid you let a rock fall on your head, Law. Ugh, so hot.
Well, yeah. We've reached the inner portion of Berg Volcano.
We need to find that starship, and fast.
Huh.
Little help!
Take this! It's so...
Lightning raging
I'll
cascade!
smash you!
Damn it!
If it cools up, time to get out of the way.
Lightning thrust! We've turned the tables on him.
No armor can stop me!
Remind me to stay on your good side.
We do it!
Bloody shield!
This one's got your name on it!
Ashes to ashes!
That was way stronger than regular firepower.
You won't hear me complaining.
Nice.
You can make plants grow instantly? What if we use this for fruits and vegetables?
I'd rather not be our party's fertilizer. Thank you very much.
Go no further!
Pieces! Attack time! Strike! Rending you a
Do it!
Not yet! I'm not done!
It's a duel of the arts! Now!
My turn!
Freeze!
Didn't even break a sweat.
What's with that shining foe over there?
I have a bad feeling about this.
Between heaven and earth.
Forward flash!
I'll face
Move
you.
around and wheeling dance the
Dance on the wind.
Strike! Forward
I'm
flash!
ready.
Astral energy!
Say no more!
Haha! Am I on a roll or what?
Well, look who's in a bright and shiny mood.
My face is starting to sting. And my throat feels super parched.
Here, have some water. Just make sure you don't drink too much.
Thanks.
You want some too, Xion? Oh, wait. I bet you're hungry more than anything, aren't you?
I'm fine, thank you very much.
There.
Retreat if you know what's good for you. Can you take it?
Yours are not the skills of just any warrior.
Save your compliments. We have to move.
Driven and talented.
Xion, can you take care of them?
Sooner said than done.
We can really make weapons with this?
Oh, nice.
Little help!
You picked the wrong fight!
On your
A chain between heaven and you have to aim for the bright area on their back.
Flaming thrust!
Go for the weak point!
Wide open!
It won't escape me. This armor's too strong. Then I'll split it open.
Be my guest!
I'm ready.
Forward flash! This could be useful.
This might be some decent equipment.
Nice.
Anything that makes battles easier is okay by me.
Retreat if you know what's good for you.
Elusive deity! Strike! Can you take it? Force blast! Sonic spear! Strike!
Do it!
In an instant! Impact block! We're in good form!
Nice.
Hi, Hoodle!
Take this! Now you see what I can do!
In here! Eruption!
No escape!
Their hide is thick as armor!
It's over! Double demon
Air
fast!
thrust!
Now! Jump! We got flyers!
Uncut! Let a marksman handle!
All back in their defense! All yours! I'm ready!
Dohalim! This one's got your name on it!
Ashes to ashes! A merry distraction!
There's still more to go!
Not done!
Lightning orb! Raging to it!
Ah.
Am I on a roll or what?
Well, look who's in a bright and shiny mood.
Hi, Hoodle!
Force blast!
Power of flame!
Strike!
Finish
I'll
without a
smash
trace!
you! You're mine!
Not in your dreams!
Elusive deity! I'm ready! Look out!
This ends now!
Consider yourself finished!
I shall ensure you survive this.
I'm not
A
done!
wailing banshee of
Double.
lightning!
Strike!
By Savior!
Our superiority was undeniable.
It feels invigorating to dominate a battle.
I was certain I saw you yawn.
Come now, I'm certainly not... That relaxed.
Oh, fuck.
Let's dispose of the trash.
I'm not done! I'll grind you to dust!
Lightning orb!
Elusive
Raging
deity!
flame!
Attack time! Rotating force blast!
Do it!
Totally! In an instant! Impact block! We work well together.
Like a finely timed blade.
Force blast!
Holy Lance! Was that a new skill I saw back there? Little help!
Outstopping tongue!
Thanks, Kisara! I never miss!
Soaring blast!
Power of flame!
Force blast!
Without a trace! It's weakened!
Force blast!
This ends. Void blast.
Am I on a roll or what?
Well, look who's in a bright and shiny mood.
It's crazy to see rocks melt before our eyes.
Watch where you're going, everyone. If you fall, there will be nothing left of you.
Exactly. So don't try anything funny. Especially you, Law. No pushing anyone, not even as a joke.
I'm not a little kid!
Discourteous, aren't you?
Do it! Raging storm! Lightning orb!
Didn't even break a sweat.
Right, here goes. You picked the wrong fight.
Now you see what I can do!
Here, do it! This one's got your name on it!
Ashes to ashes, a merry distraction.
There's still more to go! Now!
Not a chance.
In here!
Void blast.
Down on the ground!
Take this!
Now!
Hey!
Pull them away.
Well then, I should probably think about tonight's menu.
Nice.
Callous, calcified, calaglia.
What kind of poem is that?
A sparse one.
Little help!
Anything in armor is all mine!
Void blast. Take this. I'm not done.
Dance in the wind!
Glacial
Now!
fire.
Here's evil! The waters of free glacier!
I'm not done.
Dance immortal
Void
goblin!
blast.
We're not ready!
Void blast.
Let's get you all tucked away!
Strike. Void
Now,
blast.
Law! Get toasty!
Bird strike. My turn.
Gemini
No escape.
Raging storm! Hey! Poodle's quivering! I think we're about to be real lucky!
I didn't know you had that sort of trick up your sleeve, Dohalim. I would have figured rocks and plants would be too different for you to handle both.
Not necessarily. Both of them contain Earth astral energy. Luckily for me, this area is rich not only in fire energy, but Earth as well.
Oh,
Design.
nice.
Now this. Equipment is really interesting.
Oh shit, we missed that.
I'm not done!
Your blade moves like pesky airborne scoundrels.
Sounds like
Turn
a
the
job
tables
for yours.
on.
There are still more left.
Right, no time to hold back.
Leave the enemy's arc to me.
No complaints here.
Bloody...
Easy peasy. Ha hoodle.
This bridge will hold itself together, right?
Most definitely. Though I won't make any promises.
Which one is it?
Did I grab all of it? Sweet. Okay. We got all of it. Let's go time. Let's go.
Out of our way. Please don't mind if I do.
Force flash!
Sweet dreams.
Right! You're
You fight
mine!
better at a distance.
escape!
The further away, the better. You and I both.
Force flash! Mirage! Double beam attack!
Exploit the enemy's weak. Small, but a victory nonetheless.
We have a long way yet to go.
Get lost.
Right!
Armor won't save you!
Mega Ray. Thunder field. Like a lightning and
Hurricane thrust!
Now.
Kisara! All yours, Kisara!
Now!
Hold on to your arc. Here I come.
Aim for the weak spot!
Do it.
All yours, Kisara!
Damn, that's cool.
I've been doing really great lately.
What the hell is that thing?
Probably that monster Nath warned us about, if I had to guess.
Do you think this might have been where one of those lights that shot out of the wedge landed?
But why this location? If the purpose of the wedge is to harvest Dana's astral energy.
We can figure that out later. If that thing gets into town, it's going to cause chaos. We need to take it down and move on. Let's go! This one's tough, but we have no choice.
Let me know if you need healing.
Here it comes! Focus!
On your toes, everyone.
Suddenly turning tails doesn't seem so ridiculous.
Why? Are you scared?
Me? Are you?
Do you even have to ask? Of course I'm scared.
Focus up before we become that thing's lunch.
If
Summoning Zoogle? Take care of them while keeping an eye on it.
Double Demon Fang!
Resonate with the air!
Tidal Wave! Magic is there!
Damn it!
Air Thrust! The waters of freeze you get this!
Slicer!
Tidal Wave! Lightning!
Vacuum Blade!
Rending you apart!
Double Demon Fang!
Bloody a brilliant performance!
Lightning Thrust! Here I come! I'm not done!
Celestial Hammer!
I'm not
Into
done!
the shadows!
Be still!
Razor Cycle! Power of Flame! Vanish
Void
without a
Flash!
trace!
Burn!
Photon Flash! Illuminate the
pressure.
dark!
Strike!
Outforce! Holy Glimmer!
Void
Holy
Flash!
Land! Where are you going? It looks like you got this one covered.
Void Flash!
Now!
Geon!
This one's got your name on it!
Ashes to ashes! A merry distraction!
There's still more to... This ends now!
Consider yourself finished!
Here come more!
You'll just have to keep fighting.
They're all coming after me!
I'm coming, Rinwell!
I'm not scared. I'm totally fine. Magic is there!
Your blade moves like silk. I just let my instincts take over. How fascinating.
As impressive as always.
Here I hope that was improved.
No, I mean, you're even better than ever. I've never
so
seen
much,
Sion
Rinwell.
actually. Maybe my arts do have a place in this world.
The enemy wields art as splendid.
We'll soon see about that. Here, let me help. First
I
aid!
owe you one.
You must be tired of healing me.
I'm merely doing what I can to help.
Glad you're on our side, Brooklyn.
Oh, stop its charge!
Thanks, Kisara.
Not today!
Celestial Hammer!
You're mine!
There you go! Don't let up! Art expert coming through!
Wide open!
Won't escape me.
Void Flash!
Do it!
Rinwell! Light burst forth!
Radiant Genesis! You don't mess around!
Certainly not.
Void Flash! Impressive, Gilman.
Float like a butterfly and sting like a bee. Or so they say.
People say that?
Try harder!
Another incantation ruined.
It's about to strike!
Look sharp, everyone!
Everyone all right?
We won't surrender. We won't retreat. Not yet.
Whatever you do, just please stay safe. Healing circle!
This death shall
How
not
are we
be
supposed to
forgotten.
take on something so big?
I'll handle it.
Alphen!
Watch and learn. That's enough! Go back down! Everyone okay?
Yeah, I think so.
That thing scared the pants off me.
It felt like it had a different aura than other Zoogles, didn't it?
Yeah, it wasn't like the one that Almadria sicked on us either.
Its elemental astral energy variant was out of this world. It was like fighting a lord.
I guess it's safe to assume that if it came out of the wedge, it must have played some part in helping harvest astral energy. But what?
Perhaps a living spirit vessel? It's plausible, given the location. Or it may be part of a new force dispatched to regain control of Dana.
If we assume that monster was one of the 4 beams of light, we must have prevented something from taking place here.
I'd like to think so, knowing how much grief it gave us. But at least with that out of the way, we can keep moving forward now. Let's go.
Oh, nice. This one is pretty cool.
pretty lucky.
Let's- What was that? Oh. Wait, hold on. One second. Sorry, I found it.
You sense one of your pals, Hoodle?
Ooh, nice.
Look, Hoodle! One of your buddies!
It says east side, so...
Let's dispose of the trash.
Illuminate the dark!
My turn!
Forth, holy glimmer!
Let's keep our eyes on the prize.
What's on the other side of this door, anyway?
Why ask me when you can just open it and find out?
This is...
But this is...
Right.
Kisara. Oh.
Wow!
Nice one, Elfin.
Thanks. Gotta keep up with the competition.
Personally, I prefer Bologna.
So at this point, it's safe to say we've beaten all of those things that we saw flying out of the wedge, yeah?
Yes, there were 4 lights, so that should be all of them now.
They put up a good fight, but we beat them right back down again. Huh.
The fishing thing was.
Weren't you even a little scared while we were fighting them?
A little.
But we still managed to beat them with our own hands. That's what matters here.
Yeah, exactly.
I do hope that really is the last we see of them.
Each one seemed to be unique and correspond to a different element. I doubt there are more of them running around out there that we don't know about. Wouldn't you agree?
Why did you look at Dohalim when you said that?
No big reason. I just figured I stole some of his usual thunder by explaining it. I know how much he loves to do that.
You know him well at this point.
Oh.
What's this thing?
Oh, this looks nice and tough. We got some good equipment!
Nice.
I can't say its appearance is to my tastes, personally.
Alright, back to
That was quite the little adventure we went on.
Guess I misread the landing.
fuck, wrong drop. Almost there.
Hey, is that it over there?
Have you guys checked your equipment lately?
Alvin?
Did you remember something?
No, but I have seen this starship before. This is it. This is the ship I traveled in when I escaped from Lenegis.
Three centuries later, and it's no worse for wear. I'll take a look at the internals.
Damn! I'm amazed it still works at all after all this time.
The past meets the present. I really am from a different time and place.
Yeah, but you've got us now, Alvin.
Not only that, but you've helped out so many people, too.
Law's right. Rinwell too. You're one of us now. No more carrying the weight of history on your shoulders. You're a part of this world.
Right. Thanks, you guys.
How's it look?
It should fly. All internal systems seem to be operating. However, considering how long it's remained inactive, I suspect it will take some time before it's ready for takeoff.
How much time are we talking here?
Starship mechanics are not what I'd call my forte, so I'd rather not hazard a guess.
So we've just got to sit around here and wait? I'm terrible at waiting.
That's because you're a child. Oh, but how about we use this time to prepare and gather supplies for the trip?
Good idea. Who knows when we'll be back from Lenegis once we leave? We should prepare ourselves for every possible scenario before we go.
Let's try not to stay away too long. I'd hate for anything to happen to the place while we're gone.
Either we race ahead, or we take due precaution to ensure we have no regrets. I shall leave it up to you as to how we proceed, Alphen.
Works for me.
Siyempre, kailangan magpaliit. Side class.
You can never be too prepared. But did we have to... Been so much?
It's funny, isn't it?
What is?
All this. When we first started this thing, did you ever imagine we'd be going to Lenegus? After all, this is the sort of thing I was rebelling against when I ran away from home, right?
I'm sure Zephyr would be proud if he knew what his son was doing right now.
And a little shocked, too.
We're defying the order of things that have persisted for 300 years. Deep down, I knew our journey would lead to confronting Lenegus.
Yeah, you maybe, but you're a Renan. The rest of us can barely even picture what it means to leave Dana.
No offense to Shion and Dohalim, but it's worth remembering we're heading into enemy territory.
No offense taken, and this is no picnic for me either.
Remember, our aim is to ensure that both Lenegus and the Renan homeworld leave Dana alone for good. I don't think we'll be able to avoid a fight.
Is there no way we can talk them into leaving us alone?
The people of Lenegus?
Sure. I mean, we found a way to make it work with Shion and Dohalim, right? And it's not just us. If places like Menancia can do it, then why can't we?
Because there are still many of my kind who believe it was right and natural that Rena reigns over Dana. There are those on Lenegus who have never stepped foot on Dana. I doubt whether they'd even listen to Danans.
Look, none of us want to fight. But these are the same people who fired that wedge down on Dana. What happens next is on them.
Right. We're not going to sit back and wait for them to oppress us again.
Right.
Don't forget, there's also a good chance the Red Woman is somewhere on Lenegus. And wherever she is, we should find the Renaissance too.
That's right. If we can take it back, then Shion can finally get rid of her thorns. Shion?
Huh? Yeah.
Where? Shion?
She's gonna steal the ship. Yep. Or no.
Where'd Shion go? How could she just go off on her own? Shion. Shion! It's your thorns? But why? You okay? Just now, it looked like you used your maiden powers to suppress your thorns. You can really do that?
Stay out of my way.
Wait a second. Are you planning to go alone?
Shut up!
Why would you do this?
I told you to shut up!
I won't let you.
Oh shit. We fighting?
I mean it.
I refuse to let you.
I won't tell you again. Move or I'll shoot.
If that's the case, then go ahead and shoot me!
Do you remember back when I was stabbed? By Rolron?
Yeah. I thought for sure that he had killed you back there.
That wasn't the first time. The first time was when I was only a child. After that, no matter how often, I just couldn't die.
Couldn't die? So you're immortal? How's that even...
I believe you, Shion. But tell me how is something like that possible?
My thorns. They're me, but at the same time not. They're part of me. I have no idea why, but my thorns will never let me die. At least not before I'm meant to.
You can't die before your death?
When my thorns free themselves, it will be my death. I've seen it. A darkness that swallows up everything until nothing remains. It's a vision of oblivion I can't escape. I want to believe it's all just a bad dream. But no matter what I tell myself, I know it's not.
Yeah, but you... Wait. The whole reason you needed the Renaissance was to get rid of your thorns, right?
If I burn away what's inside, then what will happen to the rest of me? Right. Either way you look at it, I'm going to die. But if I am going to die, I figure I can at least take my thorns out with me. That's what I've been after this whole time.
That's why you turned your back on your fellow Renans and chose to fight with us, isn't it? And while we've all been fighting to keep on living, you have been with us fighting desperately to die.
That was the plan.
It's a bit dark.
But then I met all of you. And Before I knew it, I didn't want to die anymore.
Shion, don't lose hope yet. We'll find a way to save you. There's still time to.
It's pointless.
Why?
Because the darkness won't just consume me. The truth is, it will consume all of existence as well. It was only a suspicion at first, but ever since the Red Woman triggered my maiden powers, I've been more certain than ever before. It was then that I finally came to realize my powers were holding my thorns in check the entire time. But they don't anymore. Not since Lenegis, when the wedge fell. Every day, I feel the thorn's power growing stronger inside of me. Pretty soon, I won't be able to hold them back anymore. And when that happens,
They will consume all existence.
And that's why you wanted to leave by yourself. You planned to find the Renis Alma on your own and sacrifice yourself to stop the thorns.
That's... too much. It's way too much.
when this all began, I didn't care what happened to me or anyone else. And what happened to the Renans or the Danans didn't matter to me at all. I know I have to die, but I don't want to. Not now that I have this. I wish we had never met. Then I wouldn't have to feel this way.
Shion!
Kelvin?
Living for the sake of dying is no better than being a slave. How can you endure this?
Kelvin.
It's not fair. I don't care what anybody says. I won't let it happen. We can fight this. Fight until the end together. Isn't that what you said to me before?
Even if it should mean that it'll be the end of everything else, too?
Shion, what do you want? It's your decision, ultimately. But if you decide not to fight fate, I will. Even if I have to do it alone.
No, you won't be alone. I'll fight as well.
Count me in as well. I want to be a force for good, not hate.
I like her character arc.
And me too.
Her character
I meant
arc
it
is
with all of
awesome.
my heart when I
Like,
told you
she
before.
Essentially
Neither of
is
you
a
are alone
super
in this at
racist
all.
little girl.
You guys.
And I, for one, don't believe this venture is without hope.
Huh?
Shion is the descendant of a maiden from 300 years ago. Given the circumstances, it seems very likely that those events have some connection to her thorns.
Oh shit.
The true nature of which, I imagine we will discover as we make our way to Lenegis and uncover the
Oh,
truth
fuck.
of what's unfolding.
Oh well, there's
I
the
take
music.
it you mean we might find a way to get
Let's
rid
see.
of the thorns and she'll live?
Oh,
It's certainly
come
possible.
on. Please don't
Though
be
I suspect the
serious.
nature of the Sovereign is connected somehow.
So
It's
be
a
it.
song.
I've already lost everything I had once. And I won't let it happen again. Shion. No matter what happens from now on, we're right here with you. All of us are. You are not alone.
You guys. You're all so stubborn. Thank you, everyone. For right now, and a little while longer, I just want to hold on to this dream. And most of all, more than anything else, I want to be with all of you.
Yeah, her character arc is really good too.
So let's go. On to Lenegis.
Hopefully you don't get in trouble. Actually, his
The end of the world. It's hard to believe, isn't it?
I believe Shion is telling the truth. What about you?
As a friend, yes, I want to believe her. Everything that's happened seems to point towards some sort of great danger that's lurking ahead of us. Still, it's hard to fathom something that could usher outright doom to the world. That those really are the stakes we face.
No, I understand. Even Shion doesn't seem to know exactly what will happen to bring it all about.
We have so many pieces of the puzzle in our hands, so many clues, yet the complete picture eludes us.
So where do her thorns fit in then?
Well, I imagine they must sit at the very center of it all. You remember the voice we all heard while we were inside the wedge, don't you?
Yeah, I remember. It was the will of Dana's astral energy come to life. Or that's what we all thought.
Right. And from that, we're able to hypothesize how vast concentrations of astral energy can become sentient. Let's return to when we found Shion in Pelagian. When her thorns went wild, they contained far more astral energy than any mere Renin would normally have inside them.
So you think those thorns might be alive too? That their will is what keeps her from dying? But why would they want to destroy the entire world?
As for that, I really cannot say for certain. Its goals still remain a mystery. It may be a mere fluke that her maiden powers have been able to contain it thus far.
You know, I've noticed since we've met that you like figuring out riddles.
Can you blame me? When one realizes that the world they once thought to be true is but a mere facade, they can't help but seek the truth. Especially when that deception has led to others getting hurt.
Dohalim?
I imagine the remaining pieces of the puzzle that we seek rest somewhere within Lenegis. As for what the final picture will look like, who can say?
Right.
Oh man, this looks really dumb, honestly.
How you holding up?
Who, me?
Yes, you. You took a hit from those thorns again, didn't you?
Oh, that? That was nothing.
Compared to what Shion's going through, you mean? Still, Even if you yourself might be willing to endure that kind of pain,
Yeah.
Shion doesn't know how lucky she is to have you around, you know? Dashing in.
Yeah, very.
I'm being serious. You went up and held her close like you still had that mask on. She really needed that. That's what I mean when I said you saved her.
I just want for Shion what we all have. The ability to touch someone. With those thorns have robbed her of the kind of everyday things we all take for granted. And it's not right.
You can say that again. It may be normal for us, but that doesn't make it any less special. I have my own dreams. But a world without her, where she dies so we can all survive, isn't a world I want to...
Agreed. It's like more...
Did you know?
You mean about Shion?
Yeah, I didn't have the slightest idea. I mean, it's like a completely different world was spinning around.
You and me both. I mean, I knew something was bothering her, but...
You? But you're the one always...
That's what I thought. But in reality, I didn't understand it all.
At least you figured it out in time, though, right?
I don't think we're out of the woods yet. But yeah.
Yeah, with all of us together, there's nothing...
I know. No look...
Hey, you're the expert on what my dad would say.
Zephyr, I don't think that he'd have that much to say, to be honest. You're your own man now, Law. And you've already made up your own mind about what you want.
I guess he couldn't say anything even if he wanted to.
Law.
Sorry. I guess those will need all our strength. I'll probably end up worrying again at some point.
Yeah, Can't sleep?
After everything,
Fair enough.
Shion's had to deal with so much on her own. Even when we were all... I thought she was keeping her distance because of her thorns. I just figured that, but it turned out to be none of that. All this time, she felt like she had to die and sacrifice herself for the greater good.
I know.
She was so alone this entire time.
I'm sure it made her happy.
You...
Yeah, I do. If she didn't think of us as... You were a good friend to...
Yeah, when you think about it, but over time, we've all found ways to let No, I mean, I think it'd be really nice if we could all just be there to support each other when it really counts.
Rinwell. Hey.
As much as I try to look like I have things under...
You're not the only...
Hey. That's okay. I was different back then. The Danans, but in that room with Deadime. When you called me your friend, because until that moment, I thought of you as a way to use the blazing sword. But after that day, one time became two. And before I knew it, you'd made a habit of calling me and Dohalim your friends. It didn't matter that we were Renans. Then, everyone else started to call me their friend too. To think of me as their friend. I didn't want to die and lose you all. But I also didn't want to live if it meant you would all die in my place.
Shion.
But then, I realized... I'd only really been... Don't worry, it's okay. I've met too many people, so I'll fight. For Dana and for myself. I don't know how we're going to do it, but
It's going to be a long, hard road ahead, Shion. Our fight won't be over, but I swear I'll be there.
Thank you.
Remember what we learned back in Calaglia? There's no...
Yeah.
Everyone well rested? Then let's go. We depart for Lenegus.
Any side quests? Yeah, actually, let's okay.
Do you sense one of your friends, Hoodle?
guessing I'm missing. So we got Tislodia with Calaglia here. And Lucia's here. Sahara. Then we have. Okay, let's go. Hold on. Locations, Tales of Arise. Wait, do I have the retro sunglasses? Okay, I do have that. I have angel wings. I have butterfly wings. Right eye patch. Yeah, right eye patch. Star hair clip. Right. So I have the right bandage. And left bandage. I have Cerulean glasses. Poodle doll. What is this? Okay, I do have that already. Sad glasses. Oh shit, okay. Anglia waist.
Looks like we made it here in one piece.
Oh shit, there is another area here.
My turn! Not fair! Rending you apart! My fists are crushing it out there!
Nice. Huh. Wait, do I already have that? Maybe it's- Okay, I might not be able to get that. Okay, let's go.
We've reached our destination.
Well, it's the moment of truth.
This lady better hold together once we're up in the air.
Law, don't say that. You're going to jinx us.
Speaking of which, Alphen, this bucket of bolts got a name?
A name? You know, I'm not sure she ever had one. I never really thought about it.
Well, after all the trouble we went through to find her, we should give her one, right? I was thinking something like...
Fall Knights.
Huh?
It means owl in the ancient tongue. Literally, the one drawn to the skies.
I like it. Sounds perfect for our little escapade.
Not sure I'm completely convinced, but... Well, it's as good a name as any. From now on, she'll be known as the...
Okay, people. We have two goals. First, we need to get to Lenegis and make the Renans finally leave Dana alone. And then, we need to figure out the truth behind Shion's thorns and find a way to save her. Sound good? All right. Then let's go.
You know, I can still hardly believe it.
Believe what?
I mean, just look at it. The whole of existence, crammed inside a tiny frame.
Now that you mention it, I guess you're right. It does look more like a painting than a living, breathing world.
From up here, all the struggles we've been through feel so insignificant.
Nothing like realizing how small you are to put everything into perspective. Kinda makes the differences between the Renans and the Danans feel pretty small too, huh?
How much longer until we reach Lenegis?
There are better ways to use your time than napping. We should take a moment to familiarize ourselves with the facilities on board before arrival.
Good idea. The starship may end up serving as our base of operations once we're down there. Think you'll be all right with the controls?
You mean the one set to automatic pilot? I dare say I'll manage. I'm basically just here to supervise.
In that case, she's all yours.
Everything okay, Shion? You seem a little different.
Different? Like in a bad way different?
No, not at all. You seem more driven lately, like you found a zest for life. It suits you.
You okay? Feeling airsick?
Actually, now that you mention it, not at all. These starships are a remarkably smooth ride, all things considered. Nothing like being at sea, thank goodness.
Glad to hear it. That device there caught your eye, huh?
I was just wondering what it is. It looks big enough to fit a person inside of it.
It's a healing pod. It fixes injuries and illnesses.
Oh, you don't say. That should definitely come in handy if any of us get injured while we're down there. Alphen? Was it something I said?
No, I was just thinking back to when I escaped Lenegis, that's all. What with the ceremony and losing control, I was a total mess. Naori laid me inside here.
So, you're saying you got in this thing straight after escaping? But that mean... you were inside for 300 years?
Yes, it sounds crazy, I know. But don't even ask me why I stayed asleep all that time.
That's definitely quite some lie-in, all right. But still, whether you meant to or not, I sure am glad that it's this century that you finally woke up in.
What do you mean?
With the amount of fighting we've done, we would have never made it this far without you. And not only that, but... Alphen, Can you recall back to what it is that I said to you? Back when we left Menancia? About the dream of coexistence and needing to learn what it entailed?
Of course. That's why you came with us, right? To learn what you couldn't at home.
Even in that time, I was well aware that what I was living was a lie. But at the same time, I also felt really compelled to fulfill my brother's wishes. I'll always remember him fondly. But the coexistence we're fighting for isn't for him. It's for people now, and those still to come. The world's bigger than just Menancia. My dream is for all Danans, wherever they might be, to be free. If I've learned anything on this journey, it's that. And the one who brought me along was you, Alphen. I'll forever be grateful to you.
Well, we're not out of this forest just yet. You should probably save your thanks. At least, until we've dealt with the Red Woman.
I know. But whatever we find when we get down there, I'm through looking the other way.
Kisara.
Probably getting a little ahead of myself, huh? Let's take things one step at a time.
Hey, Alphen, listen to this! So Law and I were just talking and...
Hey, shut up!
What's got Law all flustered?
Only that he's afraid of flying, the big bait.
Hey, I just think it's, a little unsettling how we're going to be cruising through space in a glorified tin can. That's all.
It's a starship, dummy. That's what it's supposed to do. I don't think there's anything strange about it.
Well, maybe you're the one with the problem then.
Guys. I'm no expert, but I think we can trust Renan technology.
Oh, that's a good point. If you think so, Alphen, it must be okay. Don't...
Hard to argue with that, seeing how you hitched a ride in one of these things before, Al.
Is something wrong?
No. I was merely thinking how it had been 7 years, that's all.
You mean since you became a lord and left Lenegis?
I am as prone to sentimentality as any other. Tell me, though, you too have a history with Lenegis. A traumatic one, no less. Doesn't that frighten you?
Well, it is a place where I took the lives of countless people. I'd be lying if I said I hadn't thought about it. But I can't keep running forever. The past is what it is. There's no changing that. But the future's what we make it.
I see.
Dohalim?
Forgive me. I was wrong to pry. Come back and speak to me when you finish looking around.
We'll be going to Lenegis soon.
This must feel like a home. What was life on Lenegis like back then?
Let's just say, I don't have many happy They called it treatment. But in truth, they were just using me as a guinea pig for their research.
You mean...
That's right. All I was to them was a riddle to solve. They poked and prodded me, trying to figure out what triggered my thorns or changed the form they took. Day in and day out, every single day. The look they gave me whenever one of them touched my skin. How could I forget it? Some existence, huh? I thought things couldn't get any worse. But then they did. I started to have nightmares, visions of the coming apocalypse. Is it any wonder I lacked a cheery disposition? Unable to so much as touch another soul. Loneliness was my best friend. Sure, I survived, but with the knowledge that one day I'd be swallowed up by oblivion. And that's when it hit me. If I was going to die...
I'm sorry.
No,
You say it's your destiny to die.
Are you crazy?
That's exactly... Why should you have to give up your life? It's that logic that's used to justify slavery. As if some of us were just meant to be sacrificed. This struggle was never about saving only ourselves. But that doesn't mean we have to give up our own... If we're doing this to protect people, if we're doing this to save the world from destruction...
A world free of sacrifice. That's what you...
Not just me. If we're going to win, now I see it.
A victory without losers. But that means that a Danon victory over Rena can't be the end.
You bet we can pull it off.
Yeah, you're right. We can do this.
Is everyone about ready? We'll soon be making preparations to land.
Before we do that,
Kisara has a point.
I'd like to hear more too. It's been centuries since I was last...
Very well. First and foremost, Lenegis is... Of course, it also happens to be a city in its own right, complete with its own independence. Its social structure is based on a strict hierarchy. Put simply,
Enough to determine someone's social rank, you mean? But astral arts are innate, right? So
they can be honed with the right training, and there are admittedly other factors at play. As a result, family lines that churn out lords and their contenders wield disproportionate influence, and those lineages are treated as nobility.
Those capable of only weak astral arts are effectively an underclass, denied the right to descend to Dana even if they wanted to. Still, even the lowest rung on the Renan ladder is considered superior to being a Danon. Keep that in mind down there.
Thanks for the warning. As a lord, Dohalim must have been pretty high up in the pecking order.
Come on, you've seen her skill with that.
On arts alone, you're right. I'd have been sitting pretty. But you're forgetting my thorns. They weren't exactly an invitation to high society. No, it's fine. It's refreshing to be around someone who says what they're thinking. Life's less
Jeez, give backhanded compliments much?
Wait a second.
I am not!
Of course, separating people into castes based on something arbitrary like arts is discrimination at its worst. As if such simplistic criteria could ever be a measure of someone's worth.
so this red woman, are we expecting to find her on Lenegis?
I would wager so. Lenegis is too deeply involved in all this to discard the possibility. Chances are she's also connected to the Renis Alma being stolen from us in Pelegion.
If the Renis Alma is being used to exploit Dana,
That red woman's got a lot to answer for. Just...
We're about to land. The descent could be a little bumpy, so brace yourselves.
if there are clues about your thorns...
Oh man, it's weird playing a Tales game that's in space. Because I don't remember
There's
any
no
of the
one
other
here.
Tales games going to space.
I wasn't expecting a welcome mat, but still.
Lenegis's infrastructure is largely automated. Besides, people won't be expecting incoming traffic while the crown contest is still underway.
Do you think anyone realizes that we're here?
We may not have received a royal welcome, but I doubt our entrance went unnoticed. Don't let your guard down.
I really hope we don't have to fight anybody while we're here.
So now what? We've come all this way on a hunch that this red woman is here, right? And if we're lucky, the Renis Alma too. Any idea where we should start looking?
There is an area of the city that is accessible only to the Sovereigns, known as the Forbidden Zone. That seems as good a place as any for us to start.
Forbidden? What are they hiding?
I don't know, hence my desire to find out. Fortunately, we just so happen to have a Sovereign in our midst. In any case, changing the shape of a huge structure such as Lenegis would have required an immense source of power.
Then you think that source might have been the Renis Alma?
Precisely. Alphen said that he remembered the Renis Alma being used in the spirit channeling ceremony 3 centuries ago. Whatever the ceremony's purpose, If preparations are underway for it to be held once more, then the Renis Alma might be in the same place as last time, possibly together with the Red Woman. Hiding something of that worth in the residential quarters would only court trouble. In which case...
It stands to reason we should be looking somewhere normally out of bounds. Is that it?
Indeed.
But it's been over 300 years since I was made a sovereign. You can't seriously think I'll be able to waltz right into the place after all this time.
There's only one way to find out. If there's even a chance you can get us in, I say we give it a shot.
Shion's right. Who knows? We might even find a clue to her thorns while we're at it.
All right. It's not like we're swimming in leads, so let's try to track down the Forbidden Zone. Beyond that wall lies a city full of Renans. The capital city where
Thinking about what could be lurking out here is giving...
For such a loudmouth, you...
Oh,
Would you two children stop squabbling? Or do you...
So how many Renans actually live in this place?
I couldn't tell you exactly, though not as many as you might expect. Machine...
There's Zoogles out here too, huh?
What in the world?
This being Renan territory, I was prepared for a lot of things to look different. But this is a bit more than I anticipated.
The very foundations of the city have shifted. What could have caused this?
When Lenegis changed shape, it must have had an effect on the interior, too.
Maybe when they sent the wedge down to Dana?
But they wouldn't move around the places where people live. These are their homes, right?
I would think the citizens themselves didn't have much say in the matter. Either way, locating the Forbidden Zone just became...
Dohalim? Is that you?
Avakir. I'm glad...
So it is you! But why are you here? Shouldn't you be down on Dana participating in the crown contest? And these people!
So you haven't heard what happened on Dana, then?
Heard what?
Someone you know?
An old friend.
Hey, Dohalim, don't tell me you've started keeping company with...
They're with me. More importantly, what's happened here?
I'm really not sure. The city's foundations began to shift without warning, and now everything looks like this. We're all waiting for the Sovereign to tell us what's happening, but so far...
Avakir, listen to me. We're looking for the Forbidden Zone. Do you have any idea where we might find it?
The Forbidden Zone? What business could you possibly have there?
Trust me. The less you know, the better.
You're just the same as ever. I wish I could help, but what with the changed topography, I can barely locate my own home. Let alone the Forbidden Zone.
Very well. It looks like we'll have to find the way there ourselves.
Have you seen Faria yet?
No.
I see. Well, nothing much has changed with her. If anything, she's probably even more...
I can well imagine.
Why did you come back? You know it can only result in pain for you both.
I've no doubt of that.
You really are the same as ever. Fine, I understand. Just don't say I didn't warn you. And take care of yourself. Okay, Doe?
So who's Faria?
Law?
If what Avakir said is true, it would seem the people of Lenegis are being kept in the dark about what's happening down on Dana.
They seem to be just as clueless about what's going on up here in their own world. Despite the fact that it's actually here that the wedge originally came from.
We need more information. Let's talk.
While we're at it, we can ask them about...
And don't forget about finding the way to the
Let's leave the talking to Shion. We can't have a bunch of Danans poking their noses around.
Good idea.
I shall assist.
You sure?
Being a lord on Lenegis has its...
Right. The Danans among us should probably keep our heads down.
What?
What could be so important? It's worth It's just... unbelievable.
From how it looks, they must be siphoning off astral energy from...
But why do all this? What for?
Whatever their purpose, disrupting their siphoning process alone won't be sufficient. Not while we still don't know what their endgame is.
He's right. We need to stop this from happening ever again.
This Forbidden Zone might be where we find some answers, right?
You heard him.
So, I've been wondering, do you think when Lenegis was built, it was even...
What do you mean?
Well, none of this happened by coincidence, right? But then, if they knew people were going to live here, you'd think they would have taken that into consideration.
Ordinarily, yes. Trust me, as far as we were concerned, Lenegis was our home, nothing more. No one knew about. It makes you wonder whether the city was just built on as an afterthought. But if so...
Sorry.
Not at all. This place is a mystery, that's for sure. Something tells me we'll find answers where we're going, though.
Yeah, you're right.
Everything will be okay now.
I know the basics of healing arts, but my skills pale in comparison.
Is everything okay?
Oh, yes. I can't seem to find my way home, is all.
I was hoping to head this way myself.
I suppose the Sovereign knows. I daren't stay here too long, though. A lower caste can only linger around these parts for so... I was hoping to avoid it, but
You mean you know another way?
Lord Dohalim Ilkaris! But how?
Yes, strange, isn't it? If you know another route.
But of course. Please forgive me. There's a wall that I thought maybe it was a passageway between the different quarters.
It's worth investigating, at least. I shall go and assess the situation. In the meantime, wait for me here. If it looks...
You'd really do that for me?
Our lot in life is of little consequence.
Oh.
Your lordship. Oh, what a... I descended to Dana during the last crown contest also. Alas, when the contender I was backing failed to clinch the title, I witnessed the deaths of so...
Indeed.
Sorry to interrupt, but we're looking for a woman dressed...
All red, eh? No, I can't say I remember anyone like that.
Yeah. What about down on Dana during the crown contest? You didn't see anyone like that hanging around the lord you were serving?
What's with all these questions? I've never seen her, okay? Not recently or otherwise.
Never mind.
Oh, dear me. What an unspeakable mess this... Whatever did we do?
You really have no clue what might have caused this?
Would that I have. Alas, there was no warning, no prior decree. His Highness must have deemed it. We have no choice. But do my eyes deceive me? Could I really be standing in the presence of his lordship, Doha? I believed he would...
Your eyes do not deceive you. It is I, one and the same.
As your lordship wishes. First, Lenegis mutates beyond recognition. The Ilkaris house has produced a great many
Your good wishes do me an honor.
Well, we've canvassed the city for information.
No one has the faintest idea what's happened to this city after all. They haven't heard the news about the crown contest either.
You'd think that info would easily find its way up here. Has it always been like that?
Not to this extent. Which would indicate that something's suppressing the truth.
Given everything that's happened to their city?
Yeah. That one guy even said his Zoogle had stopped listening to him.
Everything that happens here is attributed to the Sovereign's will. It's the way people have... Nothing happens devoid of a reason. To them, it's...
The Sovereign's plan. There is one thing I'm still not sure about.
The Sovereign, of course. He rules from Rena while presiding over both Rena and Lenegis.
Without the lords or anyone in the middle doing his dirty work? Isn't Rena at least the same size as Dana? That's a pretty big dominion for one person to rule over. I would have thought ruling Lenegis alone would be difficult enough.
The points you make are valid, though I confess I'd never given it much thought before. Here, the Sovereign's come to think of it. I know nothing of the nature of how... Shion, have you ever been... No, forgive me. Have you met or crossed paths with, or even heard of someone who's actually made a visit to the homeland?
No, I haven't.
Neither have I. In which case, I would imagine that... But no, surely not. Can it really be that no citizen of Lenegis has ever been there?
Hold up, what are you getting at, Dohalim?
Assuming what I believe to be correct, it's possible that no one on Lenegis has ever laid eyes on the actual Renan homeworld itself. No one but the Sovereign, that is.
But what about trade and communication? There's got to be a flow back and forth, surely.
Not if the Sovereign is imposing his will on Lenegis single-handedly. It could be a one-way street.
But I thought you said that the Sovereign's all the way over on Rena. If that's the case, what if something were to happen to this?
I'm beginning to wonder what the nature of this Sovereign even is. Alphen said he was forced into the role, right? Just before the ceremony. But Sovereign is also the title given to the almighty Renan rule.
Whoever wins the crown contest inherits the throne from his or her predecessor, before becoming ruler over all of Rena and Lenegis. Thereafter, that individual is known as the Sovereign. Though, it would appear that the current ruler has gone silent. As for how Volron factors into all this...
3 centuries ago, I became the Sovereign here on Lenegis. 300 years later, we cross paths with Volron, who also bears the Sovereign's crest. That's not the only thing we have in common. We both became Sovereign without winning the crown contest.
Do you think Volron was made Sovereign for the same reason?
I can't say for sure.
But that would mean that 2 Sovereigns would need to exist at any one time. One whose job it is to rule, and the other for ceremonial purposes. We never did see Volron's body back in Ganeth Heros. Is a new ceremony underway with Volron at its center this time?
Wait a second. You don't think Volron and the ceremony can't go forward without the Renis Alma?
There's something else the ceremony needs. A maiden. And unless they're...
Questions, questions, and yet more questions. Ones that it seems will remain unanswered. Until we...
If the Forbidden Zone really is off limits to everyone but the Sovereign, that seems as good a place as any to
Then it's decided. One of the citizens mentioned a passage that she thought might lead. Let's go find it!
With nobody left to run the show, I mean, there's sovereigns up on the Renin homeworld.
But Dohalim was a lord.
Only current acting lords have power. Renin society is quite...
Even if the other lords were still around, I doubt they'd be able to do much.
I wonder what they'd think if they were here to see Lenegis now. Balsif, now that I think of it, aside from Dohalim, we know next to nothing about the other lords.
Well, yeah, why to us Danans, they were just enemies.
I know. But seeing Renin...
It feels strange to imagine the...
Yeah.
If you're that curious about them, why not try and... Every lord in their household has their share of support. And luckily for us, the people here are unaware of the events on Dana.
Yes! Yes!
Balsef had it in him to care about someone other than himself? Really?
I didn't realize.
And yet, weirdly, none of them seemed to mind.
It is the way things have always been.
Unquestioning acceptance of your own service.
Even so, the quality of life here seems much higher than any... I used to think it was impossible to build an ideal society without wealth.
More to the point, not a single citizen seems to have...
What if she's not here?
It's still too early.
For all we know, she might be able to blend in, move around unnoticed.
Tell me, Dohalim.
And what skill...
You know, when you're talking to people around town. The way they suddenly become putty in your hands.
I'm afraid I don't...
I do. It's called friendly intimidation. Look imposing and speak in a deep, booming voice, and presto.
I would never stoop to such scandalous tricks. Any feelings of intimidation are solely in the eye of the beholder.
So there is a knack to it.
Now you've got me curious.
Let's see. An obsession with being elegant is a must. Oh, and it helps to be old-fashioned, too.
If you've a bone to pick with me, it'd be quicker to just come out and say it.
What? They look up to you, that's all. I'm just helping them along.
Hey! What's got into Alvin and Law all of a sudden?
I can barely understand a word they're saying. And what's with the weird poses? Was it something they ate?
I hope you're willing to take the blame for this one.
I wasn't expecting them to take me so seriously.
Yeah, it's like...
guess she intended to spread it throughout all of Lenegis then.
Good thing the lines were down so she couldn't.
It almost sounded like she was praising them too.
Maybe there was more to the guy than at first glance.
I shall refrain from commenting.
What?
Ganabelt was so horrible to people. Yet he was invested in helping Rena succeed. Doesn't that seem just a little inconsistent?
I'm perhaps biased in this matter, I admit. However, in my mind, while all lords vie to become the next sovereign, they're also meant to serve as guardians of all of Rena.
It seems like Ganabelt also had people he cared about until the very end.
So why couldn't he extend that to us Danans?
Ooh, I might have killed your kid.
This area doesn't look as badly damaged as that other district we went through.
Indeed, the effects of Lenegis's transformation appear to be less pronounced here. Or, viewed another way, this area was simply luckier.
Pardon me.
I guess her willingness to stoop to any low came from a survival of the fittest worldview.
And some people here not only shared her belief, but championed it as morally right too.
That doesn't make it true. Too bad they couldn't see through her.
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
Okay.
It seems like the people on Lenegis don't really know much about Volron either.
I remember being quite surprised when the Lord of Ganath Harros changed so abruptly.
Didn't you have any doubts that something suspicious was going on?
On the contrary. Remember, we Renans are raised to accept everything at face value.
Okay.
When you think about it, the families of Renan lords must see them.
Yeah. Despite the brutality,
They must have had a lot on their shoulders. Carrying...
Renans live in a world where strength and power determine their position, but their loyalty to their people is also strong. It's what brings them together against outside forces. And nothing exemplifies that.
That's what makes them the guardians of all of Rena, so...
Right. It's the same reason Balsif hated my guts. and Ganabelt went after you, because we're threats to Rena.
Guess that makes you an even bigger oddball than...
So, Alphen, have you gained...
Yeah. Falstaff and the others, they all had their own circumstances to deal with as they went through life.
Yeah, but still, just because they had loved ones and...
I know. What they did was horrible. But at the same time, they weren't incomprehensible monsters either. They were individuals. Just so I guess...
You're saying that they weren't bad because they were Renans, or because they were... Even if they did terrible things, they...
Renwell.
Am I wrong?
Not at all.
Being a Danan doesn't make you a good person. And being a Renan doesn't make you a bad one. I think that's something we...
Xion and Dohalim definitely make it...
And I'm going to keep doing my best.
It's a bull ride. Nobody likes that shit.
There's something I just don't get.
What is it?
The crown contest itself has always gone ahead as planned, right? In which case, the current sovereign of Rena should be whoever it was that won the previous contest.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So, who was it then?
Hanfried Milgras, the former lord of Cislodia, if memory serves.
So then this Hanfried whatchamacallem, he's the current ruler of Rena?
The last I heard, yes. Though, admittedly, I haven't actually seen him since the end of the previous contest.
You're saying that ever since becoming sovereign, he's never actually shown himself on Lenegus?
I guess over holocom maybe, but not in the flesh. Same thing goes for the sovereign that came before him.
Now that you mention it, I don't recall anyone ever visiting Lenegus from the motherland, sovereign or otherwise.
And that never struck you as a little bit odd?
When you live here, it's as if you're conditioned not to notice all these strange quirks and discrepancies. The question is then, by whom? And to what end?
A new Renis Alma is supposedly created to coincide with every crown contest, meaning each victor is awarded their very own. In other words, if that's true, there should be as many of the things out there as there have been contests.
True, but going on what we witnessed in Pelagian, it didn't look like the sort of thing that could be made to order. But if even the victor's speeches have been part of some grand deception, then where are they?
You and me both. Though we are Renin by blood, neither of us even knew that such a thing as a Dark Master Corps existed, remember?
With any luck,
no use standing around here chat.
I think one of the twists would be there is no Ren. Like, everything is happening on Lenegus. And Rena is actually like destroyed.
Doe?
Faria.
Varia? Isn't that the person that Avakir guy was...
But why are you here? Wait. Don't tell me you've given up on the crown contest and come crawling back home from Dana already. Nothing to say? Even though you were willing to kill Tarnigan to secure your position as Lord, you still... Kill?
I'm here to take care of something. If you wish to continue this conversation, I only ask that you wait until I'm finished.
Oh, of course. You always did prefer to take the coward's way out. Even after 7 years and living on that Danon rock, you haven't changed one bit. But let me tell you, I haven't changed either. Not a day's gone by the past 7 years that I haven't hated you.
If killing me will bring you peace, then so be it.
Dohalim, what the hell are you saying?
First, I have business to take care of. If it's vengeance you seek, I will grant you it. But you must wait. My sins are legion. Let me finish what I came to do. Then you have my word. I will let you do whatever brings you peace.
Sure, that's it. Run away like always. You don't even have the courage to die. No wonder you leave it to someone else. You're just a coward!
Damn.
Dohalim.
I apologize that you had to witness that.
Is it true?
Each of us have our pasts.
Before, back in Menancia, you mentioned...
The mistakes I made there were not my first, and may not be my last. I will say no more.
Did you mean what you said? About letting her take...
She has more right to my life than anyone.
But you can't just...
Whatever happens, I have sworn to put an end to the crown contest, and to ensure continued coexistence in Menancia. I have no intention of expiring before I do so. There are far too many Besides, you have just as much reason to kill me as she does. Forgive me. Some things are best left unsaid.
That mention red is the stair. I'm guessing you might fight her. Your best soldiers might be dead.
This place...
Yeah. It must be some sort of rest and leisure area for the locals.
You think? Man, these Renin sure know how to live it up, don't they?
Is something the matter?
Before I went down to Dana, my friends and I, we used to gather at this very spot and play music together. Avakir, Faria, and Tarnagan. That was a lifetime ago now.
Tarnagan. He was
He was once my dearest, closest friend. Despite Faria's lower-class upbringing, she possesses a tremendous talent for music. Entranced by her playing, I helped her overcome her sense of inferiority and introduced her to Tarnagan and Avakir. It was a time of great joy. 4 people bound only by their love of music, with no care for social standing. Only the next song, the next melody.
A friendship based on mutual respect, and a society where everyone is a prisoner to their social class. You really are different, Dohalim.
I suppose it's natural you would see it as strange.
I would have, once. Now, I think the idea of breaking away from society's constraints and choosing your friends based solely on affection is something beautiful that's worth cherishing. Besides, it was that way of looking at the world that laid the foundations for coexistence in Menancia.
Your praise does me too great an honor. I was merely following the wishes of my own heart. And even then, it only lasted until the crown contest began. After that, Tarnagan and I became fierce competitors for the position of Lord. Tarnagan had fallen for Faria. By becoming Lord, he aimed to wrest her from her humble origins and raise her to the highest echelons of society. But fate was not so benevolent.
What happened?
Tarnagan was no match for me in combat. On a level playing field, he wouldn't have stood a chance. But he was desperate and low on options, and he couldn't stand the thought of defeat.
You mean he resorted to dirty tactics to try to win, right? But then why does Faria think... Wait, don't tell me she doesn't know.
How could I tell her? Combined with the trauma of losing her beloved, and by her friend's hand, no less. She would have been devastated.
So instead you let her go on hating you, so she could use that hate as a crutch for her grief?
That's not the same as running away, though.
It is exactly the same. Unable to face the loss of my friend and the burden of my duty. Instead, I decried my fate and looked away from what I'd done. As for what happened after, that you already know.
But if you hadn't become Lord, Menancia wouldn't be what it is now. The Danans there would still be suffering under Renan oppression like before.
Shion's right. What other lord would have treated me as you did? Anyone else and I would have been dead long ago. You've saved so many people, Dohalim. You saved me. It's thanks to you that I'm here today. So, try not to blame yourself. The burden you've placed on your own shoulders is too much.
Frank as always. But I shall do.
Do you think he'll be all right?
Yeah, I think so. He's got Kisara. I didn't realize how
Sometimes just knowing someone's on your side can be enough.
I hope you're right. Alphen.
Yeah?
I never appreciated until recently just how much you were always there to support me.
It goes both ways. You've helped me keep going more times than I can count.
Maybe, but I still wanted to say thank you.
I see a medic and supply officer over there. If they know you're with me, they'll likely offer their assistance.
Did we really just spend that much money?
Damn it! Lenegis soldiers!
Any way we can avoid fighting them?
That all depends on them. Whatever happens, be ready.
Well, so much for them not wanting to fight.
Ho! I am Lord Dohalim of Elden Menencia. I command you.
The rest of the city must be erased.
No. Have they been brainwashed too?
Brainwashed enough. If they want to fight, they got one.
I'm ready!
Take! Blow them away! Now!
I'm ready! Get toasty!
Bird strike!
More where that came from!
Those soldiers seem different from the citizens we...
Yeah, they weren't big talkers, that's for sure.
They weren't in the least bit fazed by
Indeed. They seem to recognize us as enemies, nothing more. And yet, traditionally, Lenegis hasn't been high on threats. A few frenzied Zeugles during experiments here and there.
Their glazed-over eyes reminded me of the soldiers and slaves we met back in Ganath Haros. The ones in blind devotion to Volra.
I've never seen anything like...
Maybe someone doesn't want us here. And the soldiers are their way of letting us know.
What with the Red Woman, the Sovereign, and Volron, we're starting to develop quite the growing list of adversaries.
An opponent like this should be easy. Strike!
You can't get out of this!
Lightning orb! These ones can run rings around us!
Here I come!
Getting piled up!
Be still! Void blast!
Holy
My
Ring!
turn! I'm not
Chain
done!
between heaven and earth!
Lightning
Here's
thrust!
evil! A wailing
It's
beauty
on!
of lightning!
I'm ready! In an instant! Impact block!
Glacial
Now!
spear! Here's evil!
Shoot back!
Stand back! I'll trip it up!
Burning strike! Harry, the lightning! Magic is out! got to be real lucky! Out of our way!
Strike! Thunderous devastation!
Water! Hear my call! Flood! Wind!
Time to cross blade!
Freeze laser!
Double demon fang! Dazzle!
Illuminate the
devastation!
Holy land! Radiant! Stand between heaven and earth!
I'm not done!
Can you take it?
Here!
You get the gist. Air blast! You get the gist. Damn it! Here!
This one keeps charging us!
That's what my shield's for. Get behind me.
Got it! I'll leave it to you! I'm ready!
Astral energy!
Say no more!
Looks like we got them all.
Discourteous, aren't you?
Thunderous devastation! Thunderous devastation!
That makes me the thorn in our side. Light burst forth!
Radiant Genesis!
Now!
Lightning!
Thunderous devastation! Void blast!
Go for it!
Prepare to crumble!
By the power of flame!
Leave the ensnaring to me.
Do it! This ends now!
Consider yourself finished!
I know fine weapon material when I see it. Let's dispose of the trash.
Holy land!
Is it too late to talk over our differences?
Wailing Banshee up
You did it! Now! Not a chance! Crush! Be still! Thunderous devastation!
Explosion now!
Totally! In an instant! Impact block!
Well then, let's keep moving. Those soldiers don't seem to have any qualms about attacking on sight. Out of our way!
Thunderous devastation!
Go!
Void blast! Ignite!
I think I'll pass on the
Double
handshake.
demon fang! Be still!
I'm only left!
Thunderous devastation!
Between heaven and earth.
No dawn shall break this
Void blast!
Stop charge! Thanks, Kisara!
Thunderous devastation! This one's all mine!
Now! Stolen! This one's got your name on it!
to us.
Onward and upward.
Hi, Hoodle!
No further!
Leave the agile ones to me.
Do it!
Totally! In an instant! Impact block! Not a chance! Dazzle! Strike! Thunderous devastation!
Between heaven and earth. Do it! Astral energy! Full throttle!
My turn! I'm ready!
Any injuries?
Coming through.
Now go burn! Burn in hell! Thunderous devastation! I won't show you any mercy!
This ends now!
Consider yourself finished! Not a chance!
Lightning orb!
Lightning thrust! I'm ready!
This ends now!
Consider yourself finished!
A comfortable win. Discourteous, aren't you?
No further! Here I come!
No dawn shall break this night.
You think that shield will save you?
Thunderous devastation! I'm ready!
Get toasty!
Bird strike! Now!
Illuminate the
Here I come!
Holy glimmer!
Strike! Thunderous devastation!
Flame between
Benediction light.
Do it! This one's got your name on it!
Ash to ash!
Here.
Not the chance! Thunderous devastation!
Now! Astral energy! Full throttle!
Now! Take this!
They smite with
Winds of
blackened
heaven!
blade.
First form!
Don't get complacent.
This must be it. The entrance to the Forbidden Zone.
But it's just a wall. How do we get through?
Whoa, we? I thought this was Sovereigns only.
Alphen.
Yes! It opened!
Interesting. If Alphen's presence still opens the way, it would seem the Sovereign of 3 centuries ago and now are considered one and the same.
What?
What the?
Alphen.
You again.
Tomorrow's the spirit channeling ceremony. We'll finally play our parts as the Sovereign and Maiden. How have you been feeling?
What am I sovereign of? Shuffled from lab to lab, always treated like an experiment. Whenever they look at me, all they see is a Danon. I don't even know what their precious ceremony's for. Let alone what they're going to force me to do as the Sovereign. Tell me, if we're both in the same boat, why do you seem so calm right now?
No choice. Becoming the Maiden's not something I wanted for myself. But they said Rena's prosperity depended on it. How could I say no after that?
Still, as a Renan, at least you got to decide. Good for you. Meanwhile, I was taken from my homeland. You aren't the captive one here.
It isn't right what they did to you, and I'm sorry for what it's worth. When this is over, I swear I'll help you get home. I can't do this alone. One more day.
How could I say no to that? It's not like I have any choice in the matter anyway. So, what's your name?
It's Naori. Naori Imaris. Try to remember this time.
You don't act like them. Like the other Renans, I mean. How come you treat me like a person?
Because you are. It's true we come from different worlds. But neither one of us asked to be here right now. In that sense, you and I are much the same. We couldn't do this. We wouldn't be able to talk to each other as people. if we didn't see the humanity in each other? So I suppose the question you should be asking is, why wouldn't I treat you like one?
You're not like the others.
Maybe they're not like me.
Here's what we'll do. We give them their damn ceremony. You get me to Dana. That'll be the end of it. I'm taking you at your word on this. I'm trusting you, not them. Naori.
What the hell just happened?
That vision. Did everyone else see it too?
That person Alphen was speaking to, she looked exactly like Shion.
It was Naori. Naori Imaris. Isn't that right?
Yeah, that's right.
She really does look like Shion. I'm beginning to see why Alphen was so confused.
That's all very well and fine, but what did we just witness exactly? It was too real to be a mere hallucination.
It was a conversation we had 300 years ago. The night before the ceremony.
You mean all of that really happened? We just saw an episode straight out of your past?
But how is that even possible?
No.
Why not?
You guys didn't feel it? The moment the entrance opened, it was like a stream of Danon astral energy rushing over us.
I felt it too. And not for the first time either. It was the same sensation as back inside the wedge.
That would make sense. After all, vast amounts of Dana's astral energy were being siphoned and sent up here to Lenegis. For all we know, perhaps we're close to the spot where all that energy was stored.
So you think it might have been the energy itself?
We have no way of knowing.
Shion.
Yeah. So that was my ancestor, huh?
Yeah, there certainly is.
What about you?
Me?
Even putting aside the question of where that vision came, reliving painful episodes from...
I can't just pretend. Besides, if it...
Alphen.
That's not all. This whole... I'd like to liberate them too if I...
Whether you're on Dana or somewhere else, you always stay the same. Not that I'm complaining. Come on, let's bust this thing wide open.
Nobody's here.
Stay sharp. After that last illusion, there's no telling what could happen in here.
Alright, boss fight.
Faria, how did you get in here?
Wait, something about her isn't right.
What's wrong with her? She doesn't even seem to know where she is.
Yeah, you're right. She looks just like the soldiers we encountered outside.
A summoning?
But that's preposterous. She never had that kind of power when...
We can talk later. Here it comes!
What? I've never known Faria to control noodles like that before.
How about with a stone that looks suspiciously like a master core?
Where did she get her hands on that?
First we handle the Dougal, then we get some answers. Aim for the weak spot.
Country Blazer!
Strike!
Heaven and earth.
Thunderous devastation!
A wailing fancy of lightning!
Soaring blast!
It's weakened!
Thunderous devastation! This ends now!
The waters of creation!
Elusive deity! I'm ready! Look sharp! Lightning Tiger Blade! Double Demon Fang!
Holy clever!
Force Blast! Strike! Thunderous devastation! Force Blast! Look sharp, everyone!
I'm almost impressed.
My praise comes from you.
I said almost. Don't get carried away.
Can't get out of this! Radiant light! You're mine! Regeneration! Devastation! I owe you one. Thanks! Resonate with the earth! Side light! Raising your light! Thunderous burn! Thunderous devastation!
That'll bring you down.
Stalagmite!
Meteor storm! Lunar corruption! Now! Redwell, astral energy! Full throttle!
Now it's just her! Varia, can you hear me? Varia!
She's preparing another summoning!
The art she's casting is way too powerful to control. At this rate, her body won't be able to take much more. Dohalim!
Forgive me.
Man, I thought we were goners.
Everything okay?
Yes. She's only unconscious.
Not her. I meant you.
You need to get an abortion in Texas.
Shion, please. Can you treat her?
I can try, but I can't promise she'll be back to her real self when she wakes up. All I can do is heal her physically.
We're not even supposed to be in here. Maybe it'd be better if we moved her to somewhere a little safer. Don't you think?
In that case...
I'll take her off your hands.
You? Avakir, what are you doing here?
I was curious what you were up to, so I took the liberty of following you to find out. I overheard what you said about Tarnigan, about how he really died. I'm sorry, I had no idea.
And you believed me? What makes you so sure I wasn't lying?
I like to think I know you a little better than that, Dohalim. Give me some credit. I'll take Faria. Leave her with me. I know better than to ask what you're up to. But whatever it is, I hope it all works out.
Thank you.
He seems like a good friend.
He hasn't changed. He never was one to stand out. Instead, he was always hanging back, worrying about everyone else. As for Faria, it's always the closest to me who get hurt.
You don't seriously blame...
Somebody got to her, to strike back at me. Someone who knew me well enough to know that I'd hesitate to fight back. And the same goes for you as well. Neither you nor Faria would have lost.
You're wrong. As for Tarnigan, if it weren't for the crown contest, but that's why we're fighting. To put an end to this whole...
Indeed.
You can't I know it hurts to hear. But those people are dead. Forgiveness, acceptance...
So I just forget?
No, the opposite, in fact. You remember. You never forget. You keep it in your heart always. And then you go on living. Not for those already passed, but for those still alive.
For those still alive.
Kisara's right. So long as we've still got breath in our bodies, we can make a difference in the lives of others. Lives being the operative word.
That's what living's all about. Being able to still make a difference. Punishing yourself for the past won't make the pain of your conscience go away.
Only fixing the problem in its stead. Is that...
That's right. You have to live for tomorrow, Dohalim.
Don't forget, we've still got a mystery to solve.
Shion.
Huh?
Thank you.
Glad to be of service.
I'm glad we could stop Faria without hurting her.
You all did much for her as well. I'm most grateful.
Oh, shucks. We're on the same team, right? Let's move on.
You legit give her an abortion, man. I don't know how it's like without hurting her.
What is it, Rinwell? Do you hear something again?
Yeah. It's that voice.
The will of Dana's astral energy.
What? There's so much astral energy. But where's it all coming from? It's almost like it's alive.
That was the spirit channeling ceremony just now. No, it was more than that.
What the hell was that? It felt like everything was on the brink of... like the whole world was seconds from...
Oblivion. It's the same vision as the one my thorns show me. A vision of impenetrable darkness that swallows up us and everything else.
An empty void. A nothing so complete and dominating that there aren't even words to describe it. The end of time.
The visions of the apocalypse you've been seeing.
So, everything we just saw, those were Naori's memories, right?
That's right. It was as if her innermost thoughts were speaking directly to us. At least I know they weren't mine.
That power flowing into her, it reminds me of Shion's thorns. If they're what's responsible for all these visions she's been having, then maybe...
Maybe my thorns are made from that same astral energy?
If that is the case, we just found the missing link between your thorns and what happened here 3 centuries ago. No, more than a link. Perhaps even the very heart of the matter.
I've never felt astral energy so powerful. What was that?
If it's the same energy your thorns are made of, it must be dark astral energy, right? And isn't that something only Renans have?
Correct. Dark astral energy is possessed by Renans alone.
And when enough astral energy gathers together, it develops its own form of sentience. If so, maybe that complete oblivion is exactly what the Renan astral energy's will is wishing for. But why?
I don't know. Will can be a pretty vague thing to nail down. It's more of a feeling, just like the will of Dana.
But the will of Dana is made up of astral energy too, right? And if that's what's been shown... I don't know, should we really be getting so involved?
Dana's will would never want oblivion.
But you can't say that.
Cut it out, you two. Squabbling over theories.
Let's keep moving.
Shion's right. All we can do is keep going. And I think They may be the kinds of truths I need to confront if...
I'm sorry about what I... Fine.
Do you think Faria was really being controlled?
Certainly seemed that way. The question is, who? The Red Woman?
The same person who's behind all of this up.
Brainwashed or otherwise.
Someone used her because they knew we'd hold.
It does tell us one thing at least. Someone.
There's no question. That attack was meant for...
By someone capable of getting inside. Soon, we might have to be ready to face anything. I just need a little time for...
We'll stop there. We'll continue. We'll proceed tomorrow. Hopefully we can finish it pretty soon. That's it. It'll be uploaded to the stream.